In this video, I'm going to cover 9 points of preliminary due diligence that you should check when you're vetting an online business that you might want to go further into the process of buying. This is most specifically going to be applicable to content and niche type of websites, but broadly it applies to all types of online businesses. Now, that said, this is not an all-encompassing due diligence process. This is really intended for the point in time when you've reviewed a little bit of information on an online business. Sometimes it's just the publicly available information in the listing, and you're considering going forward and either making an offer or providing more of your own financial details to get more information on the business. So let's talk about why this is important here. And well, that is simply because websites can go bust, and we want to avoid that. I personally find that the online business acquisition and exit space is filled with a lot of ticking time bomb style online businesses. And by that I mean they are very flimsy. They really don't have much supporting them, right? Like there's not a lot of meat and potatoes. They might make a lot of money, but literally they're just propped up by black hat, so to say, tactics, and at any time they can go bust. So here's an example. This is a website that I personally looked at. It was for sale in 2019. It was profiting about $10,000 a month, and they were asking $600,000 for it. And I took a look at, the stuff I'm going to cover here in this preliminary due diligence I'm going to run through with you guys. And I was like, there is no way this thing is sustainable. So this was in 2019 when it was for sale. That's when I first looked at it. And well, about 6 months or so later, maybe 8 months, there was a 75% drop in traffic. This was a site that is heavily dependent or entirely dependent on Google organic traffic. So if there's a 75% drop in traffic, there's going to be a 75% drop in revenue and profit. And in this case, if you just paid $600,000 for a website and suddenly it drops to only making, or it drops 75% in profit and 75% in subsequent value, and now it's worth $150,000, you are really, really going to be hurting. Like that is going to sting. And you generally have, to my knowledge, you have no recourse. I have not heard of anyone that has bought a website or an online business that is tanked and then gone back and been able to successfully sue the person that sold it to them for whatever reason they might have. Either the risk wasn't disclosed, but that's not something you can sue for. That's your risk that you're taking on when you're buying a business. So yes, it's very risky, and these are the things we want to avoid. Anyways, this site was listed for sale in 2019. That's when I looked at it, and then I came back to it a year later, and I've actually got lists of websites that I have done this to that I've looked and been like, whoa, this thing is a ticking time bomb here, right? My due diligence is not checking out. And I note them down in an Excel spreadsheet, and I come back sometimes in the future and just say, hey, whatever happened to this? Did it transact? Did it grow, or did it bust? And in this case, this one busted, and I will say the vast majority of them, and this is very scary, the vast majority of them, like 80% at least, and I'd say that's being conservative, the vast majority of these websites that I look at go bust. And that is not limited to small sites. This is not a small, low-value site here at $600,000. So this is what we want to avoid here. And again, this is not an all-encompassing due diligence process. This is really intended to kind of be that first level due diligence. I call it preliminary due diligence. Like, hey, is this something I should make an offer on and go further into the process? Or is this something that I should really get serious about? So let's jump into it here. We're going to have an example site. This is just a site that I found online by simply Googling personal finance blog. I am in no way affiliated with this website. I know none of the details. This website is not for sale. I just picked a random website that I found, and that is moneydoneright.com. And I've actually not ran through the diligence process for the most part, as I'm going to cover it here with the site. So I'm going to go through it with you guys as if it was a website for sale. And you can see here, it is kind of like your typical blog content style website. It is put together very nicely. So let's jump into it. We will go to the first point, and that is the domain age. I typically look for online businesses that have been in business more than 5 years. I do not like something that was just started up, it exploded off, and now somebody wanted to sell it. Because think about it like this, if it was really such a high growth opportunity, why would the person want to sell it, right? I mean, if I started something, and I have started things that have just taken off like that, I usually want to keep riding that horse and grow it and ride that growth wave and the ultimate potential of profit and valuation that I can get out of it. So if you know that it's going, if you say this, or if you know because or you don't know, but if somebody posts in a business listing, this business is going to double or triple in the next year, well, my first question and my first thought is, why don't you just keep it, double it or triple it, and then sell it later, right? So yeah, I don't like to see things or be involved in businesses that have not really stood the test of time. In the online business world, things do move fast. I do like to see businesses that have been around for at least 5 years. So I will jump into checking the domain age. And I'll use this little tool right here, Small SEO Tools. You can Google domain age checker and find a bunch of them out there. And let's just put the domain in and see how old it is. Now, oftentimes the age will be listed in the business listing. So what I want to see here is that it's been using the same domain for a certain period of time. Because in the online business world, again, funky things happen. People redirect things, right? So I want to see something that's been on that URL for a period of time. This one here, I didn't know this one was going to open it, but it's been around for 5 years, 4 months, and 20 days. So that is pretty good, passing the first sniff test, so to say. Let's go on to our next point here. What has been on the website? Again, we want to make sure that the website has been substantially similar to what it is now for the past history, right? The age. Sometimes you'll see businesses that are listed at 5 years old, but when you actually look at what was on the website, it was something entirely different. And we're seeing this a lot lately with the popularity of that company Otis. I'll pull it up. Otis Global. Otis Global sells aged domains, so it is not uncommon to run across a business that is for sale, some type of content website. They say, hey, our website or our business is 10 years old. Okay, but in reality, it's a 10-year-old domain that was used for something entirely different than what they're using it for now, and it's really only existed, in substantially similar context for the last year or so, but they're calling it a 10-year-old business. I consider that incredibly risky. I think that Google certainly knows about this, tactic of using aged domains, and fundamentally, I would believe that it is in their best interest to prevent websites from getting to the top of the search results simply by putting content on an aged domain that used to be something different. So anyways, what we can do to check it is we can use archive.org, and this will show you screenshots of a website over time. What was it? Moneydoneright.com is what our website was. There we go. So we want to go back a couple years. Now, interestingly here, I'll point this out. Remember, Domain Age Checker shows this website at 5 years, 4 months, and 20 days. But if we come back here to archive.org, we can see something back in 2007, back in 2016. So I'm guessing it was registered. Somebody used it. It dropped. Somebody else probably rebought it in 2017. Nothing wrong with that. We just want to make sure that for the last 5 years that they're telling us this business has been around. And mind you, nobody's telling us the business has been around 5 years, that it has been in substantially the same context, all right, that it's been substantially the same business. Let's just see what this thing looked like in 2017. And we'll load up a screenshot. What was on it back then? It was clearly a personal finance blog, and I think it kind of looks the same, right? Maybe not. Now, does any of this content still exist? Okay, so we can copy a blog post title. And then we can open up a new tab on Google. And do a search. Not the right way of doing that search. Do a search within the site. And see if we can find it. And no, that page does not still exist on the site. Let's just pick another one and see if we can't find it. How to make money work for you, part 1, pay down debt. Let's get this little emoji out of it. No, so none of these posts, it seems like, have been on there the entire time, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's just something I was curious to see. Fundamentally, though, the site has been the same website for the last 5 years or so, and we can, kind of come through archive.org and see when it was redesigned, probably. Let's just go a couple of years into the future, 2019. Nothing really changed on it, but again, still using the same type of content. So yeah, this site is fundamentally, passing my test for what has been on the site. Next up, traffic sources. How does this site get traffic? Now, that's going to be reported to you or given to you or stated to you in some type of business listing. We don't have that information for Money Done Right because it was not for sale. But you want to consider where the traffic comes from. Is it 100% Google? That's probably your biggest risk. And a lot of content websites will be 100% from Google. I do not like to see that. To me, that just is too risky. To a lot of other people, that's fine, right? Like that's their risk tolerance is that. But I have been burned by sites and businesses that are 100% Google. So I simply do not like that. Would I acquire a site that has 100% organic Google traffic? Yeah, sure, I would. But I would be very quick to diversify traffic. And before I bought the website, I would certainly have a plan for how I was going to diversify it. Now, with regard to this, what we're going to want to do is just go check out the other traffic sources and verify them at this point. So if they say we have 40% organic Google traffic, and 40% Pinterest traffic, I'm going to want to start looking at their Pinterest, right? So I'm going to want to understand what their other traffic sources are and how they, are actually used. Let's go on to the next point here, the organic traffic pattern. Now, for this, we're going to use SEMrush, and I got SEMrush opened up here somewhere. Here's SEMrush. I did open this site up in SEMrush before doing this, and what we want to look for is a steady growth in traffic over time. Now, we can see right here that it is reflective of a site that has been online for 5 years. The growth path is not very steady. It exploded up here in 2019 and then came down. And since early 2020, it's been relatively steady and growing a little bit. I don't want to say that this looks alarming, but it also doesn't look good. I would want to understand why it exploded up here in traffic in 2019. If there's a reason for it, and you might not ever find the reason for it. That's one of the, so to say, pitfalls with organic traffic is you never fully understand why something happened. And I always kind of mock case studies when I see a lot of people saying like, learn how we got, 10 million organic visitors in just 6 months by doing this. Well, it's not necessarily this that actually caused that result. It might be something else you were doing that caused that result or something totally unknowing that caused that result. So it can be really hard And, well, you ultimately never know what is causing changes in organic traffic. From an acquisitions perspective, this leads us into our next point here, and that is the backlink profile. I want to avoid sites that have bad backlinks and lots of them, because there's a risk of traffic crashing from black hat, is what this should say, tactics. And that is really the case with this example site here that came up, and the site's not much more than 2 years old. I mean, it started like back here, so like 3 years old. Got up to a lot of traffic, making money, and they had a lot of black hat backlinks. So what we want to see, or what we don't want to see, what are red flags, is no backlinks from real sites or tons of backlinks from fake sites, right? You're going to get backlinks from these weird spammy sites just through the course of having a website. You can't avoid it, but you really want to make sure that there are some backlinks from real sites. No backlinks from real sites is certainly red flags, and just tons of backlinks from fake sites, total red flag. Let's go back to our SEMrush. I will put a link to SEMrush below this video, which may be an affiliate link. As of recording this, I'm not an affiliate of SEMrush, but I have used the program for several years, so sooner or later, I might actually get an affiliate link for it. We'll come here and click on Backlink Analytics. Click on backlinks. 35.4 thousand backlinks. I don't think that this is an extreme amount. Now, here's where I'm kind of using rules of heuristics. I'm typically looking for about 10,000 backlinks a year to be the maximum. So on a 5-year-old domain, maybe even older, since it's been re-registered, I would expect to see no more than 50,000 backlinks. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Now, that said, there could be justifiable reasons why you would have more, but generally, in most cases, that's it. Now, what I'll do next is I'll look at the backlinks and I will sort them by a page authority score. So we want to see where the high-value backlinks are coming from, and if they have backlinks that are from real sites. All right, so we're gonna make sure there's not a red flag here by checking that they do actually have backlinks from real sites. Real sites will have higher page authority scores. Now, the first couple are Blogspot, nothing wrong with that. Now we got an NBC News. That's an interesting one. It's not a no follow either. That's a good link. We've got Huffington Post, good site. We've got a CNBC up here. We've got a WikiHow. I don't know what this is. Some type of .edu. That's weird. Let's just see what that is. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but that looks kind of spammy. A CNET, another CNET. It's no follow, but that's totally normal. This on top list kind of looks legit. Yeah, once you open it up, it's really not anything crazy. Another NBC News. That looks like a decent domain. Yeah, it's decent. Not a award winner, but it's good. Accounting.com. That's a pretty good one. Not as good as some of the others, but that's a good one. But they've got some real sites in here, and they don't have a ton of backlinks, and I'm not seeing a ton of spam stuff up here. There's stuff that looks kind of spammy, but not a ton of it. So the site, I would say, is doing pretty well and passes the backlink check. Next up, social profiles. Is there any engagement with real people? I like to buy real businesses and real brands. So I like to see engagement with real people and at least some effort being made on the social side. Most often, content websites won't have much of this. Is that good or bad? It's bad because I'd like it to be there, but it's also good because it gives you the opportunity to create it. So for that, we will just go in here, go back to the domain, where is it? I have it in Chrome. Let's see if they have links to their social profiles on here. Here they are. Looks like they've got a Facebook. They haven't posted in over a year, recording this December 6th, 2022. So they've got a little bit out here. but not much. Instagram, I'd expect to be about the same. Yeah, they haven't posted since November 2022. So it looks like they made a little effort into it, but realized for them it wasn't worth it and stopped doing that. Good thing is that they have claimed their social profiles and started making a little bit of a dent in it here. But this again presents some opportunity, particularly I think with paid advertising. So I would say that this is positive for the overall due diligence. You really want to avoid sites that have absolutely done nothing on social media. That would probably be in the camp of things I want to avoid. Next up, revenue and expenses. Now, considering this is preliminary due diligence, we're probably not going to have much detail on their revenue and expenses. So what we can tell is what is their valuation multiple, right? So based on profit, what are they asking? And is that in line for this type of website? Generally, when it comes to content style websites or online businesses, for sites that have really no brand and they're basically just a leech on Google, you typically see them going for about 30 times the monthly profit. So revenue minus expenses for a month, profit times 30. Maybe a little bit more. Quite frankly, I don't think websites that have no brand or anything and are total leeches on Google are even worth 30x. For sites that have built up a brand, you're going to see those going for 40, 50, 60, maybe even higher multiples. If you do get revenue and expense details, one thing I always like to consider is the owner's time being accounted for, right? So is the owner writing all the blog posts? Is the owner publishing all the blog content? Is the owner making featured images? Is the owner posting on social media? Well, you often don't know that, but a big giveaway is how much money is being spent on expenses to pay someone else to do this. So if you don't see much in the way of expenses, that's a big indication that the owner themselves is doing a lot of work. And next up, the advertising line item or marketing will often give some clues into what else might be happening in the business that they're not telling you. For example, they might be running paid ads or some type of paid traffic, but that's not reflected in the actual information provided for the business for sale. I see that happen a lot. Maybe they'll say, oh, we spent money on a marketing campaign, but it didn't work. That gives you a little bit of kind of like a nugget that you can use to dive deeper into the business. The advertising line item really kind of opens the door to a lot of things I find. And a lot of times the business owner might be spending money on something or trying something and they just categorize it as advertising and move on for the sake of their P&L. Now, one thing that just came up that I did not include in all of my 8 points here is something that I really consider valuable and should have included, and that is branded search volume. So let's just go back to organic traffic pattern here. When I am looking at a website in SEMrush, one of the things that I want to see is branded search traffic. And we can come back here to domain overview, go to their keywords, and see if money done right is one of their keywords. Now in this case, or a major keyword, right? In this case, and in the case with many online businesses, they'll be targeting keywords that have a lot more traffic than their actual brand name. But having a little bit of branded search traffic indicates that a brand has been built and people are typing this brand name into Google to come to the website directly. And that, to me, that is one of the most highly valued elements of an online business. Or it should be one of the most highly valued elements of an online business. Because it indicates that the business is doing something other than just sucking traffic off of online sources. Now, I don't see it here. Let's just type in money done as a filter. And here it is. It's getting an estimated 50 a month. So I like that. I would say this is very, very good. It's not high, it's not a lot, but it's a little something that shows this business or this website has built up a brand. All right, now let's go back to our points. We covered that. Monetization sources. How does this website actually make money, and how sustainable are the revenue streams? When we come to moneydoneright.com, we can see some display ads on here. So it's making money with display ads. I saw things about credit cards. Now this one, I clicked on this to open this up because it says 6 best tax relief companies, CPA opinions. You know what, or that's probably monetizable with some type of offer. Then I saw credit cards. 7 sites giving away free stocks. How to invest in real estate with $500. These are all going to, I think, give away how the site is making money besides these display ads on here. But 6 best tax relief companies, it's probably got some affiliate offers in here. And oh yeah, they've got a nice table. So it's probably an affiliate offer. So we'll copy the link and paste it, not go, and see if it's an affiliate link. It is not, because it's just linking right to them. Now, if the first one is not an affiliate link, the second one probably is not either. So it's not making any money on affiliate links here. What about, is this an affiliate link? No, it's not. Surprised. Credit cards, are these affiliates? That is definitely an affiliate. You can see it's got that URL string. So they're making money on affiliate offers. This is probably an affiliate offer here. That's also an affiliate offer. So they're making money by display ads and affiliate offers. I don't see any of their own branded products or info products on this website. Possibly an easy win here might be going through and looking for some of their articles or content that does not have affiliate offers in it, and coming back and reaching out to these companies and saying, hey, could we set up some type of affiliate offer? Now, possibly that is in their plan, and this seems like a very well put together website, so I would say that's in their plan. And the reason why they haven't pursued that yet is because this page just doesn't get enough traffic for them to actually make it worthwhile. But this website fundamentally is earning money. Their monetization sources are display ads and affiliate offers. And there's other ways that they could grow it by further enhancing affiliate relationships and probably creating info products or promoting info products as an affiliate offer, and maybe even some private label offerings through budgeting software. I know there are private label budgeting softwares out there. Possibly this site could implement those. Finally, what could you do to grow the business? Now, as a rule of thumb for myself, I would not buy a business that I do not have a plan or a way to grow it. That said, I'm not going to jump in it and start changing things right off the get-go. I don't like to do that, and I think that's a big mistake. I have bought businesses before, both online businesses and offline businesses, and when I get them, I don't want to just jump in and start changing things. Yes, I have a plan for how I could change things, but no, I don't just start implementing that. I want to take over the business, feel it out, and at least get it making the same profit, or at least keep it maintaining the same profit. And I shouldn't say get it making, it should be maintaining that profit with myself in the driver's seat and to really understand the business. And then from there, I can decide which of my changes or which of my plans I want to implement to actually grow the business. Or maybe I'll realize something entirely different. But fundamentally, before I make an offer on a business, and certainly before I close it, I want to think about what I could do to grow the business. Now, coming back to our example website here, Money Done Right. Where is it? I've kind of been outlining some things as we go along. So, we've got the monetization sources, and that probably just hurt the audio. I just hit the microphone with my hand. Anyways, not going to do that again. But we could increase or add affiliate offers for the tax relief thing or other pages that don't have an affiliate offer. We could possibly implement some info products as affiliates or as ourselves, and possibly implement some private label budgeting software. But then we could also grow our social channels, possibly create some type of Facebook group, get more engagement, use ads to get more engagement. And if we get the right affiliate offers, we could use ads to drive traffic to the affiliate offers. That's how I would look at growing this business. Maybe you have alternate methods. If you do, and you're still watching this video, let me know in the comments below. But I think this is a very important part of the due diligence process, is not only understanding how the business works and does it check out, but what could you do to grow the business. So guys, that is a wrap on this in the 9 points, or 10 because I threw in a bonus, of preliminary due diligence for acquiring an online business. What do you guys think? Are there any other points that I missed out on? If there are, certainly let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you found this one helpful and insightful. If you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button because, hey, it really helps me out in the YouTube algorithms. That's a wrap on this video. I'm signing off, guys.